Hey everyone, Christina Whiteley here, realtor with Fabulous Homes Colorado, powered by Keller Williams Freedom. And this is Fabulous Neighbors of Colorado, where we feature local businesses and entrepreneurs. And today I'm so lucky a mutual friend introduced me to Beth Howard. Hi, Beth.
Hi.
Hey, she is the owner of Better Rooms for You. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Finally feels like fall.
I know.
It's going to be like snow next week, I read.
I
So I'm
saw that.
hoping
That's wild.
it's too early. We need some autumn time in before we hit the ground running, I guess, into winter. But so you are a professional organizer, so I may need you in my life.
Good.
Sometimes we walk into homes and they, need a little help organizing to pack, or they just moved into a home and they need to get systems in place. But what is a professional organizer exactly?
Well, there's a simple definition as a professional organizer is someone who helps you make your space more efficient. Your space could be a business, it could be your home, it could be an offsite location, if you have a storage facility or something like that. But it is after that, it just blooms into a whole bunch of different possibilities. There's organizing to make your home or office more efficient. I specialize in home organizing and decluttering. Then you get in the decluttering, which is part of the organizing umbrella, but it's different. It's helping identify things that you don't need anymore to help you become more efficient. So it's kind of like a two-step process. And those things can happen like what you said with getting ready to move. There's panic packing is what I call it, is when it's time to pack and all of a sudden you've got to get it done and everything goes in a box and moves with you. If you take the time to declutter before you pack, then you don't have to deal with it on the other end. So the professional organizer helps you with a wide variety of things. It's not as simple as making a file system, which we can do. It encompasses a lot of different areas as well.
Okay. Why would somebody need a professional organizer aside from like setting up a new home or there's a lot of shows out there right now with organizing, and why would
the people that I help are reaching out to me to make their home more efficient. And like I said, eliminating things that you don't need starts to help you become more efficient. And what it's going to do is going to help you become less stressful. If you have difficulty finding things like your keys or, functioning in your house, getting out the door to work on time, or you have too much stuff and you can't find things in your home, it's going to help you be less stressful, live a little bit more calmer existence, and just give you a better overall, feeling when you're in your home.
I think that's a great point, because half the time I can't find my keys, so I'm wasting a lot of time.
Right, and money. If you can't find, let's say, wrapping paper, and you've waited, you need to wrap a gift or something like that, you can't find it, then you got to drive to the store, buy more, come back, you're wasting time, you're wasting money. But if you had all your wrapping paper in one space, then you know exactly where it is, you're more efficient. That's a pretty easy explanation, but it works on almost everything you have in your home.
That's actually a really good point, because I have done that. I'm like, I can't find the tape, so then I go buy a new tape. Or right now we can't find a tape measure. I know we have tape measures, but we can't find them. So what did we do? We went out, we bought a new tape. So I need you in my life. That's not good. We did a big purge because we just refinanced and we got rid of so much stuff, and it felt so good.
It does. And you don't really realize how much better you will feel, because there's a thing called clutter blindness. And that's when you just don't see what you have. And it's almost like you see your space better when everything's in its place, and it just opens it up and it makes you feel better. mentally and physically. I mean, there's, stress can weigh on your body, your mental, the way you feel about your home and things like that. It does change.
Well, yeah, and physically, a lot of these little trinkets I was so attached to that I ended up getting rid of were collecting dust. And we have a kid that has asthma, and that really triggered him when we were getting rid of it. It's like we stirred up. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I agree, and I can attest for sure. What inspired you to open your business? I loved your story when we talked on the phone a few weeks ago, and I'm so happy you're open to sharing it.
Right. My mother had some significant traumas when she was growing up, and from that she got some hoarding tendencies. And so I have, it's not as bad as show hoarders, but it's there. And I, as an adult, I wanted to learn about it, how to understand it more and everything like that. So I came from a psychological aspect just to, learn more. And then I've always been a volunteer for my girls growing up, and even now. And I merged that desire to help people with the knowledge I had about individuals with excessive clutter, put it together, and business.
Because it can be very emotional, I imagine.
Right. If someone is holding on to things for emotional attachments, or thinking they're going to become useful, or I'm going to sell them, there is a psychological benefit for them to do that. There's a reason. Even though someone might have a stack of newspapers that's, five years worth of magazines or newspapers, it's serving a purpose. And it even goes down to things don't disappear. If you've had a lot of desertion in your life, things don't disappear. So you can control that, and having control over your things kind of helps you not notice that you don't have control in your real life. So it's a lot of emotional things going on. However, you don't have to have hoarding tendencies to sometimes acquire things. If you're a very, very busy family and everyone starts putting stuff in a spare bedroom, and then you want to turn it into a home office, that's when you have a room full of things. It's not because it's just a kind of a place to put things. We can dig through and help you get rid of the things that don't need to be in your house and set that location up for you to use differently. I've helped people regain entire living levels of their home.
Wow.
And, where there's paths and things like that. So it doesn't have to be that bad, but anything you need, just organizing, getting things up off the floor in a storage area, in your basement, finding things that you don't need or want anymore, and, getting those things out, especially before you move, or if you're thinking about downsizing in the near future. It's easier to do it when you have time and advance, instead of getting into that panic mode when you have to move, or you have to move your older parent into a retirement facility, or what is it called, assisted living or something like that. So being proactive in doing that, I think, is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're in the #1 housing market in the nation, or right next to it, Colorado Springs. And the realtor in me is like, the homes that have less clutter, that are organized, they sell quicker and for top dollar. So you can help with that as well. So some people are like, I don't want to spend the money, but you're going to make that money,
right.
Because I can always tell when we show homes, who's taken the time when we're looking, and my clients do too. It shows. So
right. And
absolutely.
that's another thing. It's like, people don't want to see, in staging, they don't want to see your family picture on the wall, but they also don't need to see your collection of, baseballs, or, porcelain pigs, or whatever you like. Those are the things that can come out before you show your home. And I can help people identify those things as well.
I think that's great, because we'll hear that a lot. It's like, well, I still have to live here. You do, but an example I always use is, if you have a bread maker that you only use at the holidays, let's put that bread maker away, because we're going to have your home sold before the holidays. So sometimes we get in our own way, and I do it too. The refi, I'm like, gosh, but I went for it. And
yep.
But yeah, I mean, there were things I shouldn't have had that I had all these years. So
Right, and that's very common. It's just kind of easy to, set those things aside, and then when you look at it, you're like, hey, I don't need this anymore, and then you can donate it to, Goodwill or Salvation Army or directly to a battered women's shelter, whatever the items are, and it actually makes you feel good that you're giving things to people that can use them when you're not using them.
absolutely, absolutely. So how does the process work if we call you for help? I mean, I know everybody's different what they're looking to accomplish, but
Right. When I get a phone call, obviously we chat about their project. It could be something like regaining space for a guest bedroom, cleaning up a storage area, anything that you need to do. Getting ready for a move, that's a big one. And then of course, every house is different. Like you said, everybody's different. Everybody's goals are different, their timelines and things like that. But in essence, we look for three things. When I work with a client, I have a bin usually for donate, trash, and someplace else. Donate obviously is going to be packed up in boxes and taken out, ready for donation. Trash, that's pretty simple. The someplace else is if we find something that belongs in another area of the home. Let's say we're working in the basement and you find that calculator that you need in your home office. It goes in the someplace else bin. And then at the end of the session, then we go and we put it where it needs to be so it's not distracting us from our job at hand. Usually I start in one area and kind of just go around the room in a very systematic way. Start sorting items. Like if we're like one room we did, it was kind of like a catch-all for a year, but she wanted it to be an office. So we started a pile for office items. We started a pile for things that really needed to go to the kitchen, things that really need to go in kids' rooms. And you start finding these categories, you purge those categories, then you give them specific homes. So that's kind of the process that we go through. Now, of course, like I said, everybody's different and every situation is different, but that's generally the flow that I go through.
I imagine now that we're all stuck more at home and we're all working from home, now our kids are going to school for home. I imagine there's a lot of people that are just trying to resituate ourselves. The kids need a quiet corner. Mom needs a quiet area to
Yep.
work or whatever. So
I've
now's
actually
the time.
I've actually helped a family who had a finished basement area, and it was kind of like the kids would go down there and play and everything like that, but mom wanted a specific area for the kids to kind of go to school, and that gives them a good mindset that they're going to school. And we, within just a couple hours, we took out some of the toys, we rearranged some furniture, we set up 2 designated desk areas for her 2 children. And not only was it was clean and inviting, it also could serve double purpose as a family entertainment area when school's not in session. So whatever, it could have been just solely school, but we also made it, useful when school's not in session. So, and that was kind of a fun project.
I think that's a great idea because I actually have my office upstairs and my bedroom's not upstairs. And it feels good to go to the office, but it also feels good to leave the office.
Yeah,
and it's like, so that is really cool that I didn't even think of that because my kids, they just go to school in their rooms. They had computers ready to rock and roll because they play all the time on their computers. But, one is sleeping in the basement now that he doesn't have to get up for school. And I wonder if I'm leaving school. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's a reason he's doing it. I never asked her even. That's a great idea, actually.
Right. They also say that you shouldn't do things in your bedroom, like eat dinner or, other than sleeping activities. Same thing with your school area. If you have a designated area that's just for schooling versus, I also sleep right there, I think it just helps, especially with the younger kids, that they kind of have a visual of, there is a difference in between playtime and school time.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful that you have so many, you can do these big projects, and then you can also do a little bit of the smaller ones. And so I don't want people to think just to call you for hoarding, for example.
Right.
It's everything and anything that could make your life more organized.
Right. And it's a fresh eye. It's someone who is not living in your space that can see it differently and see the potential that sometimes you've lived in there so long. It's a habit, the way you're doing it. So
What a neat business you have. I think it's really incredible, especially in these weird times right now too. What areas are you covering?
I go up along the Front Range, all the way from Longmont down to Colorado Springs, and all points in between. And I have gone, up and down I-25, so I've seen a lot of interesting driving. But yeah, definitely, those are my north and south points.
Perfect. Well, that's a pretty broad range, and I think it's a service that we absolutely need with all the movement and the growth that we're having too, but also just the weird times that we're in right now that we're all adapting to. So
one of the interesting things I'm working on now is one of my friends is bringing home their parent from an assisted living, and they're turning a couple rooms into a bedroom and like a parlor for her. And that creates a whole bunch of different issues of not only new use for those 2 rooms, but where is everything going to go? And they have minimal storage. So we're going to have to come up with storage solutions, purge a few things and look at rooms differently. And so that's going to be a little bit longer project, but yet again, it's kind of, she's coming home because unfortunately she's like, I just want to die, because of COVID. I just want to die of COVID. And she, no, Mom, don't, So times are changing and families are coming back to the home. Adult children are coming back. Things need to be shifted around. And, when anything happens with your stuff, that's when I can come in and help.
that's actually a good point. We have a disabled daughter. She's much older. She's in college, but she can't move out. And, we're happy to keep her. We love her. But she needs her own space. And we didn't think of that when we bought this home. So that's actually the goal was the refi was like, okay, we're going to refinance, fix it up, and then go and get a home that serves her more. Because she's 19. She needs privacy. She needs space. She's next to little brother. She's, and we didn't think of all the stairs either. We didn't know life was going to change the way it did for us, but that's the way it goes. But, she can hear us at night if we come up and get a glass of water. So she needs like her own space. So that's actually interesting and something we would be interested in once we get to that point with her, because, we'd like to find her an apartment above a garage or, just something. It's
right.
So that's interesting that, people are going home, right? I didn't even think of kids moving, adult kids moving back. We're all kids still, but cool. Well, I think it's a great service that you're offering. I'm so happy that you're my guest today. And,
Thank you.
And I look forward to meeting you in real life when things settle down soon. But thank you so much. And we'll definitely link all of Beth's information in the description below so that you can reach out to her for your organizing needs. And if you would like to be featured, go ahead and make a comment in the description below. Remember who to call for all of your fabulous real estate and organizing needs. Make it a fabulous day.
Thank you.